Hi everyone! Today we are doing a thrift store makeover, which means I got this jewelry box from my local thrift store and I'm going to paint it and make it over into something else. So I started with some gesso just to give the paint something to stick to, and I covered the glass area with some paper and tape as I was being a little lazy and naive, thinking that I could paint the wood without removing the glass. So spoiler alert, that wasn't true. I needed to remove the glass. But for now I'm just covering all sides with the gesso, which is pretty straightforward, just painting it on. I think if I could do it again, I would try and get it a little bit smoother because it dried a little bit clumpy in some spots. Here's where I removed the glass so that I could paint underneath it on the inside. Because had I not done that, it just would have looked weird to have that area of wood remaining when everything else was colored. So here I'm getting my paint ready. I'm using Mariah Elizabeth's pastel rainbow colors that she came out with. And this jewelry box is for my 6-year-old daughter, and we often watch Mariah Elizabeth's YouTube videos together, so I decided to make something in her color scheme with a rainbow, pastel rainbow on the top and the back. So I'm just putting the rainbow colors on the top and blending them together, so going back and forth. And this ended up needing multiple coats. I think I did 2 full coats of the rainbow, and then some places even got a 3rd coat, but I only filmed the first coat because it's the same process all 3 times. I asked my daughter what else she wants on here besides rainbow, and she came up with she wanted a cat on one end playing with some yarn, and then the other end she wanted the rolled up ball of yarn, and on the back we put the yarn traveling from the ball of yarn to the cat. And I thought that was a pretty good idea, so I went with that. Oh, and she wanted some paw prints on the box, so we did that too. Now I did carry the rainbow from the top to the back. And I tried to keep it blended. And then the 2 sides I decided needed to be a flat color because those were the sides they were going to have illustration on them. So I thought a rainbow background would just make it too crazy. Now I decided the front part, at least the top, needed to be a solid color as well. And right now my daughter's favorite color is blue, so I decided to go with blue. And I decided to just paint over the knobs as well. That way I didn't have to worry about trying to avoid them. And then the drawer here on the bottom, I went with the rainbow, blended rainbow again. So this ended up being a lot of rainbow painting. And then I remembered I still had to paint the inside. So, and we're painting another rainbow on the inside. So I kept flipping it back and forth so I could make the rainbow the same distance, the colors the same distance from each other as they are on the outside. But I kept forgetting to lean the jewelry box back so the camera could see it. But I am very glad I took the glass off, because it just would have looked too weird without painting underneath where that glass was. And it only took 2 seconds to take it off, so moral of the story, don't be lazy. And then I picked blue for the top inside of the box. And so here we are starting to work on this glass. So I was trying to scrape off the paint that was already there, and I was using my tiny scissors because they were right next to me and I was feeling lazy, so they didn't work. So I went and grabbed my razor blade from my kitchen, and as you could see, that worked way better. So once again, don't be lazy. So I grabbed my paint markers after that and decided to put some rainbow paw prints on the glass. Most of these markers are the Artex paint markers, except for the white, which is just a generic white marker pack that I bought from Amazon. These needed quite a few coats because they went on pretty transparent, so I just kept going over and over and over them till I felt like they were as bright as I wanted them to be. And after I got all the colors down, I do end up going over around them with the black paint marker as an outline. And here's where I'm putting the glass back in, which also really only took like a couple seconds. And then I continued to paint a little bit. It was so much easier seeing what I was doing when it was back on the jewelry box. So now I am starting on the sketch for the cat that is going to be on the side, playing with the yarn. Then I was going to leave this as a white cat, but in the end I decided it needed a little bit of color, so I added these orange and gray spots at the end. Now we're switching over to the ball of yarn, which was pretty easy to do. I wasn't going for super perfect. Overall, I think it is looking good, and it was, like I said, it was a cute idea that my daughter had. And then here I grabbed my Gamvar gloss that I usually put on my finished oil paintings, but I looked it up if you could put it on acrylic paint, and it says you can, so I decided to try it. And I also just put it right over that glass because I was worried about the paint on the glass just chipping off super easy, so hopefully this will protect that a little bit. But it made it look super shiny, and I'm really happy with this. I think it turned out great. My daughter loves it, so it's a good makeover. Thanks for watching today, and I will see everybody next week.